We never thought our story would end like this. Some endings arrive with loud explosions. Others come quietly, hidden inside ordinary mornings, unnoticed until everything you once loved has already slipped through your fingers. The day I looked across the breakfast table and realized the smile we had shared for years had disappeared forever, I understood that heartbreak doesn't always come with slammed doors or cruel words. Sometimes it simply arrives in silence. I never imagined that the woman who had once promised to stand beside me through every storm would slowly become a stranger living under the same roof. And I never imagined that the little boy who called me Dad would become the only reason I kept waking up every morning. Before we continue, if you believe that kindness, forgiveness, and second chances still exist in this world, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Dad's Second Chance. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories that remind people they are never truly alone. Life had once been beautifully simple. My wife Emma and I had built our family from almost nothing. We worked long hours, celebrated tiny victories, and dreamed about giving our son Noah a childhood filled with love instead of struggle. We weren't rich, but every laugh around our dinner table made us feel like the luckiest family in the neighborhood. Weekend picnics at the park, movie nights with homemade popcorn, bedtime stories that always ended with Noah falling asleep on my shoulder, those little moments became treasures I never knew I would one day desperately miss. Then life began changing so slowly that I barely noticed. Stress replaced laughter. Conversations became shorter. Smiles became rarer. We both carried invisible burdens we never admitted to each other. My construction job demanded longer hours as bills piled higher every month. Emma looked exhausted all the time, balancing work, parenting, and responsibilities that seemed endless. Instead of facing our struggles together, we started carrying them separately. The distance between us grew one silent evening after another until our home no longer felt like home. The day Emma told me she needed space, my world stopped moving. She insisted it wasn't because she hated me. She simply couldn't recognize the people we had become. Looking back now, I realize we were both drowning while pretending everything was fine. Pride kept us from asking each other for help. Fear convinced us the other person wouldn't understand. Those tiny misunderstandings slowly built walls that neither of us knew how to climb. When she finally packed a suitcase and left, Noah stood at the window watching her car disappear down the street. He didn't cry. He simply asked when Mom would come back. That innocent question broke something inside me that has never fully healed. I smiled through tears and promised everything would be okay, even though I had absolutely no idea how I was going to keep that promise. The following months became the hardest chapter of my life. I had to learn how to become both father and mother overnight. Every morning started before sunrise as I prepared breakfast, packed lunches, got Noah ready for school, and rushed to work hoping I wouldn't lose my job because I constantly needed to leave early for school pickups or doctor's appointments. Every night ended with laundry, homework, dishes, bedtime stories, and quiet moments where I finally allowed myself to cry after Noah had fallen asleep. People often praise single parents by calling them heroes, but the truth feels very different. Most days, I didn't feel heroic. I felt exhausted, scared, and completely overwhelmed. There were nights when the refrigerator looked almost empty, and I wondered how I would stretch my paycheck until Friday. There were birthdays where I secretly skipped buying myself groceries just so Noah could have the toy he had been dreaming about. There were mornings when I smiled at him despite sleeping only 3 hours because I refused to let him see how broken I felt inside. Yet something remarkable began happening during those difficult months. Noah became my greatest teacher. He never complained when dinner was simple. He never asked why we couldn't afford expensive vacations anymore. Instead, he celebrated little victories with pure joy. A trip to the playground felt like an adventure. Baking cheap cookies together became a holiday. Watching old movies wrapped in one blanket became our new family tradition. He reminded me that children measure love differently than adults do. They don't count money. They count moments. As time passed, I slowly discovered strength I never knew existed. I learned that healing doesn't happen all at once. It arrives quietly through ordinary days. It appears the first time you laugh without forcing it. It appears when painful memories stop making you angry and simply make you grateful for what once existed. It appears when you stop asking why life became unfair and start asking what beautiful things can still be built from the broken pieces. One rainy afternoon, I unexpectedly met Emma at Noah's school during a parent event. Months had changed both of us. She looked tired but peaceful in a way I hadn't seen for years. We smiled awkwardly before sitting together to watch Noah perform in the school concert. As our son sang with confidence on that little stage, I realized something important. Our story wasn't ending because we had failed. It was changing because life sometimes forces people to grow separately before they truly understand each other's pain. Over the following months, we slowly rebuilt something different. Not the marriage we once had, but mutual respect. We learned to communicate without blaming each other. We attended Noah's school events together. We celebrated birthdays together. We became partners in raising the little boy who deserved parents capable of kindness instead of bitterness. Forgiveness didn't erase our scars, but it transformed them into reminders of how much stronger compassion is than resentment. One evening after dropping Noah home, Emma quietly thanked me for never speaking badly about her in front of him. She admitted she had spent months carrying guilt that nearly destroyed her. Hearing those words lifted a weight I didn't realize I had been carrying myself. Sometimes the greatest act of love isn't holding on to someone forever. Sometimes it's protecting their dignity even after they've walked away. Years passed, and Noah grew into a confident young man with a heart bigger than either of ours. At his high school graduation, he hugged both of us and thanked us for showing him that families don't have to be perfect to be full of love. Those words became the greatest reward I have ever received. In that moment, I realized our story had never truly ended. It had simply taken a path none of us expected. Life rarely gives us the endings we imagine when we're young. Dreams change. Relationships evolve. Hearts break. But every sunrise quietly reminds us that endings often become the beginning of something even more meaningful. I stopped measuring my life by what I lost and started measuring it by what remained. I still had my son. I still had hope. I still had the opportunity to choose kindness every single day. If you're watching this while carrying your own heartbreak, please remember this. The chapter you're living today is not the final page of your story. Pain may stay longer than you want, but it doesn't stay forever. Keep showing up. Keep loving the people who need you. Keep believing that tomorrow can surprise you in ways today cannot imagine. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who may need encouragement today, leave a comment, and subscribe to Dad's Second Chance. Every interaction helps us continue sharing stories of hope, healing, and second chances with people around the world. Special request before you leave, please comment below, what is one lesson life has taught you after heartbreak? Your words may become the hope someone else desperately needs today. We never thought our story would end like this. Looking back now, I realize it never truly ended at all. It simply became a story about resilience instead of perfection, about forgiveness instead of regret, and about discovering that even the deepest heartbreak can become the foundation for a future filled with grace, hope, and love. Sometimes the happiest ending isn't getting back what you lost. Sometimes it's becoming the person you were always meant to be because of everything you survived.